Hey everyone, it's Maribel Blue with a new Pathetically Unfiltered. If you are new here, welcome to this channel. Please take a moment and consider subscribing and hit the bell notification. That way you will get notified when I upload a new video. And if you are not new, welcome back. This will be the TikTok Streets edition, including something paranormal, which I'm going to get from YouTube instead of searching all over TikTok for it, because my TikTok FYP is just filled with one political thing after another, and it's just easier to go to the direct sources of Slaptam, Sir Spooks, and I think there's another one, Beelzebub or something like that. He's another one that I like. So let's get started with this first clip. This is completely bizarre. I saw this actually this morning upon me recording this. Today is June 13th. I don't think I've ever heard a story like this in my life. And without me detailing it, I'm going to play it right from the source.
I accidentally got invited to my own husband's second wedding. No, because tell me why I'm sitting on my couch eating cheese cubes when I get an email. The email says, "Dear family and friends, we're so excited to celebrate the marriage of Daniel and Jessica." Like, my Daniel? As in the man currently snoring upstairs? So naturally I think it's spam. I open it. There's engagement photos. It's him. It's literally my husband with some blonde woman I've never even seen before. Before you ask, no, we are still married. Like, married. Tax return married. Costco membership married. I immediately called my best friend and was like, either I'm having a stroke or my husband is getting married to another woman. She told me I should check the date on the invite. The wedding was in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Now here's where it gets stupid, or I guess even more stupid. The RSVP link still worked. So yeah, I clicked that I was attending with the +1, my best friend. But because of my husband is getting married, I'm not missing it. And let me tell you, the next 3 weeks were absolute torture. I said nothing, acted completely normal. Made dinner, watched Netflix, listened to this man complain about gas prices while he's secretly planning his own wedding. Finally, the wedding day arrives and I tell him I'm spending the weekend with my sister. He says okay. Then he leaves an hour later, probably to get married. My best friend and I drove 3 hours to this fancy wedding. And girl, it was real. Flowers, a photographer, cake. His parents were there. His parents. You know, the ones I've never met, which now I kind of understand why. At this point, I'm wondering, am I the side chick in my own marriage? Then I spot the bride, Jessica. She's gorgeous, happy. You can tell she has no idea that he literally has a wife in the audience. The ceremony starts. The officiant asks if anyone has any objections. And before anybody can even blink, I'm already standing up. And my best friend whispers, "Oh my God, she's doing it." I walk right to the front. The entire room is staring at me, of course. And Daniel goes completely white, like somebody just unplugged his soul. And I say, actually, I do have an objection. Dead silence. Then I pull out my phone, show a photo to the bride and to the audience of the day that me and Daniel got married. It's the picture that I have hanging in my living room. I look at Jessica and I say, because this man is already married to me. When I tell you chaos erupted, Jessica's over here in a wedding dress crying. Guests start yelling. Somebody drops a wine glass. Wine splattered everywhere. His mother literally sits down on the floor. And yeah, the wedding is immediately canceled. But here's the twist. Are you ready for it? Jessica wasn't the only other woman. Turns out Daniel had been running this scam for years. Different city, different girlfriends, different fake jobs, different fake apartments. And when investigators eventually got involved, they discovered that he wasn't just cheating. He had 4 separate fiancés. 4. And I wasn't wife number 1. I was wife number 3. There were 2 other legal marriages that nobody knew about. The man was basically collecting wives like Pokemon cards. And somehow it gets even crazier. Remember his parents? They didn't know either. Apparently he'd been telling each of the families of his escapades completely different stories. Different names, different careers, different lives. So by the time everything came out, every woman wound up meeting each other. And honestly, we get along great. We compare stories, compare photos, compare wedding rings. He bought the same wedding ring for every single person. The same ring. He kept reusing it. I wish I was joking. Last I heard, he's still explaining himself to about 47 lawyers. Oh, and if you hear that kid in the background, yeah, that's his. Meanwhile, all of his ex-wives, we all have a group chat called Daniel's Victims. And yes, the profile picture is a clown. I accidentally got invited to...
So, as you know, this is a Reddit story that she's actually repeating. But the way she talks about it like it is her own story. Just imagine that you are married, and the way she had described that Reddit story, like the tax, the tax marriage, the Costco type marriage. You're talking about sharing banks marriage and finding out your husband is getting married to other people. What do they call that? Polygamy or something like that? I don't think that's what it's called. It's called something. It's illegal. You can only get married once. And if you want to get married to somebody else, you have to get a divorce. I don't understand some people, but let me tell you something. If this is a true story and this man is going around doing this, he should be in jail. You just don't do shit like that. So I wanted to share that story because I thought it was funny. And kudos to this girl for the way she shared it. It sounded like it was her story. And hopefully she will never go through something like that again. And it's very sad. Now, the other video I am going to play is more of a political video. It's actually very disturbing. I don't understand these women. I don't understand why they feel they need to live like a mouse waiting for cheese. I refuse. So I'm going to go ahead and share this video.
As a Christian woman, honestly, I would be okay with giving up my right to vote.
Do you think your daughter should have the right to vote?
I'd be okay if she didn't, because I also know she's going to marry a biblical man.
I would as well give up my vote if it got rid of things like abortion.
This was at the recent Turning Point women's event Erica Kirk got heckled at. You don't want to vote? Fine. Please. Actually, stay home. One of the people who spoke, who's leading this charge, is Savannah Faith Stone, who is becoming very popular online. Just like the manosphere has male podcasters, we have to watch out for their women counterparts because she's out here saying things like this.
I believe that it should be a one household voting system.
Look how many followers this woman has. The conservative girlies love her. There's this idea called the Overton window, right? That what is socially acceptable can be shifted over time by introducing ideas that seem extreme now, but over time can be more normalized. It's being described as a fringe movement now, but it's growing, so the idea is being amplified. Oh, and I can't speak for black women, obviously, but I noticed it was just us white women at this stupid conference speaking so flippantly about not needing our right to vote. Guess y'all missed that whole Voting Rights Act decision recently, huh? So may I just say, f*** you.
I have to say, this is quite disturbing. Like, where do I even fucking begin, to be honest with you? I was never in a mindset to feel the need to pass the baton of my power under the guise of Christianity to another man. My mom always reminded me, I'm a woman. I am here to defend myself if need be and not to be attacked, not to give in to anything that I say no to, and I will stand by that. I will defend myself against a man if I feel like I'm being attacked. But to be in this mindset, first of all, I mean, let's just call it what it is with Erica Kirk. Erica Kirk is playing on a propaganda machine, and she's making money off of that, from that. And you have these women, like the person that she just introduced. Let me just go ahead and bring back up the screen.
I believe that it should be a one household voting system.
Look how many followers this woman has. The conservative girlies love her. There's this idea called the Overton window, right?
So before I go ahead with that, let's just look at the idea of women fawning over something that is pure and pretty and white. You know, because the conditioning of always has been of the United States. I don't know anywhere else around the world because this is the country that I was born in and lived in my whole entire life. To have a woman, purity type woman, representing other women. I mean, I think she said she had like 400 and something, over 400,000 followers. Let's just put it like that. She's influencing over 400,000 people into conning them and making them believe they have to live a certain life. That's really scary. But this is part of the propaganda machine. We all have to be mindful and be careful, do our homework, do our investigation. Look, if you want to be that traditional wife, you want to be that, that's for you. And that's what works for you. However, not every woman wants to be that traditional wife where they want to stay home and have one baby after another, be nursing them, be taking care of them, be homeschooling them. Come on. There are women who don't want to do that. Yes, they want to be a mother, but they don't want to be what they consider this traditional wife, leave it to Beaver, while, she's at home cooking and cleaning and taking care of the children, and the husband is going out to work. We do not live in 1939. We live in 2026. And in 2026, there are people who are living in more than one, like the family unit. Sometimes there are children still living with their parents because everything is too expensive right now. And for women to be talking about, I'd be okay, that it should be a one voting system. No, the not. Because you know what? I'm a registered voter and I'm gonna vote whether you like it or not. And they don't care. That's the scary part. They don't care because they are just lining their pockets. They're not thinking about you. They're not thinking about your well-being. They're not thinking about how you're going to pay rent next month. They're not thinking about, can you afford to go grocery shopping? Can you afford to go to that job by paying gas with the gas prices the way they are now? They are not thinking about that. This is a propaganda machine. Be careful. Be careful what you ask for. Be careful how you get involved. These are the same people. I've had this experience where I'm sitting on the train, minding my business, reading a book, and some girl will sit down next to me. This is a true story, and give me one of them Jehovah Witness book. Oh, come to this meeting. We're all getting together. Wouldn't you like where you can go to heaven and be with the animals and live in this spiritual palace? Oh, yeah, sure. Of course, that sounds all well and good, but I'm not going to be conned into believing in your ideology. I've seen what happened with the Jim Jones followers. You knew this shit was coming. I don't think that I can make a video without mentioning Jim Jones. Use your vote. Don't fall in line with this bullshit because they will make you believe that it is normal. It is not normal. And somehow, some way, you're going to feel it inside and say, you know what, like, how did I get lost? It's like being trapped in a world with a narcissist, which is not a good feeling. Now, this next... I'm already laughing because I already know what I'm going to play. This next video has to do with a woman out here in Scottsdale who got busted for stealing her patient's credit card and then saying that she doesn't steal from anyone. People are a hot mess, let me tell you.
Hello, Tammy. Hi. Scottsdale Police. You just bring your hands behind your back.
Wearing hospital scrubs and clocking in for another shift, this is the moment Scottsdale detectives arrested 50-year-old Tammy Watts last October inside Honor Health Thompson Peak Medical Center.
You're under arrest, and we're going to explain what's going on.
Investigators say Watts was working as a housekeeper when a patient's debit card disappeared while she was recovering from an emergency surgery.
I don't even know what this is about.
I will explain that. I'm the case detective.
The patient discovered hundreds of dollars in unauthorized charges at businesses across the East Valley.
I don't know. I don't steal from people.
Your criminal history says
don't.
otherwise. Going back to 96.
I'm not going to argue with you.
From
Police say
96?
Watts used the patient's debit card to pay for groceries at this Safeway in Mesa, but used her personal number to save and earn points, a mistake that led police right to her. This January, Watts pleaded guilty as charged to identity and credit card theft. A judge sentenced her to 3 years probation and ordered her to pay restitution.
Hello? You steal somebody's credit card and then you use your Safeway card so that you can save money for points? You know, this woman, she needs to go to jail for a long time. How on earth, first and foremost, to steal from somebody that you are supposed to be taking care of? That's one. And then to not only steal the card, to go on a frivolous shopping spree. I don't even think frivolous is the right word, but who cares? To go on a shopping spree. Yeah, frivolous, because she's using her Safeway card to save money and add points. How could you be on these levels of stupid? I can understand why my mom doesn't want like somebody taking care of my grandmother, which sucks that we live in this day and age that we have to worry about is the person who's taking care of our seniors, somebody who's not going to harm, hurt us, beat us, and steal from us. That's terrible. And this is the reason why people have cameras not only outside of their house, but inside of their house too. And I'm one of those people. Because you never know. And I'm going to make sure that everything is documented. It goes right in that cloud. Nothing is ever deleted. So all evidence will be there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, she deserves to go to jail for a long time. Shame on her. Now, the last video I am going to play was something everybody was talking about that was completely bizarre. There was an interview. I'm like trying to get up to the screen here. There was an interview with, you know what? I'm just going to play it.
They've reconfigured a number of things, I am certain. What do you think the next best move is today?
A retired US Navy admiral went on Fox News to talk about the war in Iran. Within hours, a large chunk of the internet was convinced the man on screen wasn't actually him.
The president has time on his hands. He controls the narrative, he controls the strike capabilities.
The guest was Vice Admiral Robert Harwood, a retired Navy SEAL, 3-star admiral, and former deputy commander of US Central Command. On the 19th of May, he appeared on the program America's Newsroom over a remote video link to give his analysis of the Iran conflict.
And that's what the president controls most. So he can take his time, let the blockade and the economic sanctions continue to erode.
In the end, nobody talked about his analysis at all.
The power of the regime enhanced the hatred that all the Iranians in Iran have for the regime. So all those things work in his favor.
Right where his collar met his neck, there was a thin, dark line, a kind of separation between his skin and whatever was below it. To a lot of viewers, it looked exactly like the bottom edge of a rubber mask, lifting slightly away from the real face underneath.
And as well, stop their ballistic missile programs. So at the end of the
Once it was seen, it couldn't be unseen.
Gravity is the IRGC, the entity, the part of the...
And let me... Yo, let me tell you something. People are fucking diabolical. I'm going to go back a little bit. While he's talking, it's not only the separation here, but if you look, also, this is moving. Now, if you look at me while I'm talking, I mean, clearly, I'm not wearing a mask. It's my face. Nothing here is moving. And it shouldn't be.
Where his collar met his neck, there was a thin, dark line, a kind of separation between his skin and whatever was below it. To a lot of viewers, it looked exactly like the bottom edge of a rubber mask, lifting slightly away from the real face underneath.
And as well, stop their ballistic missile programs. So at the end of the...
Once it was seen, it couldn't be unseen.
Gravity is the IRGC, the entity, the part of the US, the government in Iran that controls everything.
The scary video tore across X, Reddit, TikTok, and YouTube. People zoomed in, slowed it down, ran side-by-side comparisons with old photos of Harwood, and started building theories. The first was the obvious one. He was wearing a hyper-realistic silicone mask, the kind you only really see in Mission Impossible films. From there, it escalated. Maybe it wasn't Harwood at all. Maybe he'd been replaced and a body double was sitting in for him. Maybe it was one of the hyper-realistic masks that intelligence agencies are rumoured to use. The phrase deep state started getting thrown around, and so did the word reptilian. And then the internet did the most internet thing possible. Polymarket opened a real betting market on a single question: was the Fox News guest wearing a mask? Eventually, Fox News addressed it. According to the network, Harwood had been filmed from a remote camera van operated by an outside vendor, and the lighting inside the van clashed with his jacket, throwing a shadow across his neck. As far as Fox was concerned, that was the end of it, a trick of the light and nothing more. The betting market eventually resolved on no, and 3 days later, Harwood was back on Fox News, this time in a shirt with a much higher collar.
You to talk but not deliver.
But plenty of people watched that explanation, went back to the footage, and still couldn't make it line up with a simple shadow. The Admiral himself has never said a single word about any of it. So take one more look at that line on his collar.
And as well stop their ballistic missile programs. So at the end of the day, the real center of...
A shadow thrown by the lighting in a camera van, or the edge of something that shouldn't be there at all. That one we'll leave entirely up to you.
But you wonder if we can bomb our way to peace.
Yo, I'm just gonna say this. That man is wearing a mask. There is no way some kind of shadow will cast something like this, where you actually... It's not only just this space here. Yeah, you can see my mouse, okay? And I'll probably put a red circle around it. It's not just this space here, but it's also here and here. Now, you all know, okay? I am not a conspiracy theorist by any means necessary. As a matter of fact, while I said it's fun to have those conspiracy conversations, there are people who take it out of control and they live their whole life through conspiracy. And that's something that I cannot tolerate. It's supposed to be a fun thing. It's not supposed to be anything where you distort your mind as a result of it. This, however, this is a mask. There's nothing conspiracy about it. That's the last video that I'm playing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And this is Maribel Blue signing off. As always, remember, be good to yourself, be good to each other. Most importantly, take care of you. Bye, everybody.